The day 500 warriors landed. The ground shook before anyone understood what was happening. Birds fled from the trees in loud waves. Dust lifted from the road, and dogs began barking wildly as the air filled with a sound that no one on earth had ever heard before, deep, vibrating, almost like a giant heartbeat echoing across the sky. People in the small town of Ridgewell ran outside, pointing upward. Shadows passed over the rooftops, hundreds of them, moving in perfect formation. For a moment, everyone thought it might be planes or some military test, but then the shapes became clearer. These were not planes. These were ships. Alien ships. They came down in a slow, deliberate descent, like a wall of metal and light lowering itself from the heavens. Children screamed. Adults froze. The sky turned silver with landing flames. And as the first ship touched the ground, the trembling stopped. A silence followed, thick, heavy, terrifying. That silence lasted only 2 seconds before the doors opened, and 500 armored alien warriors stepped out. Their armor shined like polished stone, glowing with moving blue lines. They carried long staffs with crackling energy at the tips. Their faces were covered, but their presence alone felt like a storm waiting to be unleashed. People panicked. Some ran. Some hid. Many simply stared, unable to believe what they were seeing. The warriors didn't attack. They didn't raise their weapons. They simply marched forward in perfect rows, stopping at the edge of the town's main square. The ground shook with every synchronized step, and when the last row formed up, they stood still, silent, watching. Everyone expected a war, a takeover, a demand, something terrible. Instead, their leader stepped forward, removed his helmet, and said something no one could have imagined. "We are here for the human child." Every adult in the town froze. Children clung to their parents. And in the middle of the confusion, a boy named Evan Parker, only 8 years old, stepped out from behind his mother. He didn't look scared, just confused. And everything, the ships, the warriors, the silence, had begun because of something he did yesterday. Yesterday had been a normal day, quiet, warm, and peaceful. Evan had gone to the small field behind his home to play with his toy spaceship, a simple plastic model with one broken wing. It was his favorite. He loved running around with it, pretending it could go anywhere. But yesterday, Evan found someone in the field who was not supposed to be there. A small alien child, alone, frightened, and sitting between the tall grass. The creature was no bigger than Evan. Its skin was pale silver, and its eyes were large and blue. Its clothes looked torn and burned. It hugged its knees tightly, shaking in fear. Evan didn't scream. He didn't run. He didn't feel fear at all. He only saw someone who looked sad and lonely, so he walked closer. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked gently. The alien child stared at him with wide eyes. It didn't speak. It didn't move. It only watched him. Evan remembered how he felt on the first day of school when he was alone and scared. And without thinking too much, he held out the only thing he loved most, his toy spaceship. "You can have this. It always makes me feel better." The alien child slowly reached out, touched the toy, then held it tightly like it was something precious. Its eyes softened, its breathing slowed, and after a moment it made a soft sound, something like a whisper of gratitude. Before Evan could ask more questions, a bright flash of blue light surrounded the little alien. It disappeared, leaving the toy in its lap and the grass pressed down where it had sat. Evan went home confused, thinking maybe he had imagined the whole thing. He hadn't. Now, present day, Evan stood in front of 500 alien warriors. His mother tried to pull him back. "No, stay here. Stay behind me." But the alien leader raised a hand. His voice was deep, calm, and respectful. "We come with gratitude, not war." The warriors lowered their staffs. The glowing energy vanished. People took small breaths of relief, though their fear still remained. The leader kneeled, an alien warrior commander kneeling before an 8-year-old human boy. "It was your kindness that saved our young prince. He is the son of our high sovereign, lost, injured, and believed dead. Your gift gave him hope when even we could not find him." The crowd gasped. Evan blinked in confusion. "Prince? The little alien had been a prince? The commander continued, emotion trembling in his voice. The boy spoke of the human child, of your compassion, your bravery, and your offer of friendship. For this, we are bound to honor you. The warriors struck the ground with their staffs, once, in a powerful echo that shook the square. But it wasn't a threat. It was respect. Evan's mother held him tightly, but he stepped forward anyway. He wasn't afraid. The alien leader smiled softly, something rare and warm. Human child, you have changed the fate of two worlds. Evan didn't understand the weight of his actions. He had only shared a toy with someone who looked sad. But to these aliens, that simple act meant everything. And this was only the beginning. Tomorrow, the galaxy would learn the name Evan Parker. The alien invitation. The sun had set over Ridgewell, but the strange hum of alien ships still filled the sky. Lights from massive vessels reflected across the town, casting long shadows over the streets and buildings. People whispered in fear and awe. No one had ever imagined such a thing could happen. 500 alien warriors arriving in a small human town, and all because of a single child. Evan Parker could barely sleep. He kept thinking about the small alien child he had given his toy to yesterday. He wondered where the little boy was now and whether he was safe. But more than that, Evan felt a strange sense of pride. Somehow, his small action had made a difference. He didn't fully understand it, but he knew it was important. That night, as the town's lights dimmed and most people tried to sleep, a gentle knock sounded at the Parker house. It was not loud, but it carried a strange vibration. Evan's mother opened the door, and there, standing in front of them, was the alien commander. He bowed slightly, his glowing blue eyes soft in the darkness. "May we speak?" he asked in careful English, his voice calm and precise. Evan's mother hesitated, but something in the commander's tone was respectful. She nodded. Evan appeared behind her, curious. The commander turned to him. "Human child, we wish to bring you and your family aboard our ship. There is a matter that requires your attention, an invitation from the sovereign himself." Evan's eyes widened. "The little alien, he's a prince?" The commander nodded. "Yes, he is our prince, our future leader. Your kindness saved him. Now, it is our honor to repay you." The next morning, Ridgewell watched in amazement as Evan, his mother, and a small team of local officials climbed aboard the largest alien ship. It was sleek, silver, and taller than any building in the town. As the ram closed behind them, the engines hummed, and the vessel lifted gently into the sky. Inside, Evan couldn't believe what he saw. The ship was enormous, with high ceilings and walls that shimmered like liquid metal. Light moved along the floors, almost like the ship itself was alive. Hundreds of alien warriors walked silently in formation, but none looked threatening. The commander led them through the corridors. "Do not worry," he said. "We mean no harm. Your presence here is a gesture of friendship and respect." Finally, they reached a large chamber. At its center, sitting on a floating platform surrounded by soft glowing light, was a small alien child. His silver skin gleamed, and his big blue eyes widened when he saw Evan. "You came back," the boy whispered, his voice trembling. Evan knelt beside him. "I promised I'd be your friend." The boy smiled faintly. "You saved me, and now I can help save your world too." Evan didn't understand. "My world." The alien boy looked sad. "My people are strong, but not all of us are good. Some of our enemies plan to attack Earth. You humans are not prepared. But because of you, I can warn my warriors in time." Evan felt a chill. He had only given a toy, yet it seemed his small act could change the fate of two worlds. The commander stepped forward. "We have called 500 warriors not to fight you, but to protect your planet. You, Evan Parker, have bridged the gap between our species. That is rare, very rare." Evan swallowed hard. He had never felt so small and so important at the same time. "What do we do?" he asked. "You will guide us," the commander said. "You know humans. You understand our prince. Together, we will prepare for what is coming. You have already started something greater than yourself." Over the next few hours, Evan and the alien prince walked through the ship. They saw rooms filled with strange technology, holographic maps of Earth and the stars, and weapons unlike anything Evan had imagined. But he noticed something else too. The warriors were not just soldiers. They were protectors. Their discipline, respect, and focus were clear in everything they did. As night fell, the alien prince turned to Evan. "Tomorrow we will train you. You will learn to communicate with my warriors. You will become the bridge between our species. Only together can we keep your world safe." Evan nodded, still unsure if he could do it. But when he looked at the prince's trusting eyes, he felt a courage he had never known before. He realized that even a small child could make a difference. Even a toy, given in kindness, could spark something much larger than himself. The ship hummed softly in space, carrying them toward an unknown future. Outside, thousands of stars stretched endlessly. Inside, an 8-year-old human boy felt the weight of 2 worlds on his shoulders. And the adventure was only beginning. Training with 500 warriors. The first rays of light from the distant sun reflected off the alien ship as it hovered silently above Earth. Evan Parker awoke in a room that felt more like a palace than a bedroom. The walls shimmered softly, and the floor beneath him seemed to hum with energy. He rubbed his eyes, still not used to the strange, alien environment. Outside the window, he could see hundreds of alien warriors moving in perfect formations on the ship's decks. Their movements were precise, disciplined, and almost hypnotic. It was like watching a living machine, every warrior in perfect sync with the others. Evan shivered. He had never seen anything like this before. The alien prince, the child he had helped, appeared at the door. "It is time," he said simply. His voice was calm, but there was determination in it. Evan followed the prince into the training halls, and immediately he noticed how massive the room was. It stretched farther than he could see, with platforms, walls, and strange devices lining the space. Glowing lines ran across the floors, creating a grid pattern that pulsed with energy. Hundreds of warriors were already there, moving through drills that looked like dance and battle combined. The commander approached Evan. "Human child," he said, "today you will begin your first training. You will learn to communicate with our warriors, to understand their movements, and to prepare for what is coming. Even though you are small, your mind and your heart are strong. That is what matters most." Evan swallowed nervously. He had never trained in anything like this before. He was just a normal kid, but as he looked at the alien prince, he felt a spark of courage. The first part of training was simple, but strange. The warriors moved in formations, and Evan had to memorize their steps, gestures, and signals. At first, he struggled. His feet stumbled on the glowing floor lines. His hands did the wrong motions. Some warriors paused, watching him with silent patience. Evan felt frustrated, almost ready to give up. The prince knelt beside him. "Remember," he said softly, "this is not about strength. It is about understanding. Watch carefully. Feel their intentions. They are here to protect, not to harm." Evan took a deep breath. He slowed his movements, paying attention to every motion. Slowly, he began to synchronize. His hands mirrored the gestures of the warriors. His feet followed the patterns. The commander nodded from a distance, a small sign of approval that made Evan's chest swell with pride. After hours of practicing, Evan was exhausted, but also excited. He realized that even though he was small, he could learn to communicate with these beings. He could understand them. And more importantly, he knew he was making a difference. Next came the strategy lessons. The warriors displayed holographic maps of Earth and the surrounding galaxy. Evan learned that some alien forces had noticed Earth's existence and were planning to invade. The prince explained that his people had been scattered across the stars, and some factions had grown hostile. Earth was vulnerable, but with Evan's help, the warriors could protect it. Evan felt the weight of responsibility. He was just a kid, just a human child. But somehow, he had become a key part of a plan that involved hundreds of warriors, a distant alien civilization, and his own planet. The commander guided him through simulations, where Evan had to make decisions in battle scenarios. He watched holographic enemies approaching cities on Earth and had to signal the warriors where to move. At first, it was confusing. Too many signals, too many moving parts. But with the prince's guidance, Evan began to understand. One small decision could save thousands of lives. By the end of the day, Evan was tired, but he had learned more than he ever thought possible. The warriors respected him, and he respected them. He felt like part of something much larger than himself. That night, Evan lay on the glowing floor of his room, staring at the stars outside. The alien prince sat beside him. "You are brave, Evan," the prince said. "But bravery alone is not enough. You must also be clever, patient, and kind. That is how humans survive, even against the strongest enemies." Evan nodded. I just gave you a toy. I never thought it would lead to this." The prince smiled faintly. "Sometimes the smallest acts change everything. You taught my people something they had almost forgotten, the value of trust and kindness. That is why we are here. That is why we follow you now." Evan realized that he was not just a child anymore. He was a bridge between two worlds. He understood that even ordinary humans could do extraordinary things. Outside the ship, Earth continued quietly, unaware that 500 alien warriors hovered above its cities, prepared to defend it. Inside the ship, an 8-year-old boy prepared for challenges ahead. And tomorrow, the real test would begin, because not all threats came from distant stars. Some were already closer than anyone imagined. The first threat. The next morning, the alien ship hovered silently above Ridgewell. From the windows, Evan could see the town below, calm and unaware of the danger that lurked in the shadows. The warriors moved through their drills as usual, but the commander called a meeting for Evan and the prince. "We have detected unusual activity near your planet," the commander said, his glowing eyes serious. "Not all enemies are far away. Some have been watching Earth for months, waiting for the right moment." Evan felt a chill run down his spine. "Enemies? Here?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Yes," the prince said, his small hands clenched in determination. "Some aliens plan to attack Earth. They have weapons that can destroy cities. If we do not act quickly, your world could be lost." The commander pointed to a holographic map. Red dots appeared over several major cities. "These are reconnaissance drones sent by the enemy," he explained. "They are testing human defenses, looking for weaknesses. We need to respond before they strike." Evan stared at the dots. He had never imagined that a human child could face something like this. But he also remembered the toy he had shared with the little alien yesterday, the same small act that had brought 500 warriors to Earth. Somehow, he had to be brave again. The prince guided him to a control room, where holographic screens displayed the approaching drones. Evan's first task was simple but critical. He had to direct the warriors to intercept the drones before they reached populated areas. At first, Evan panicked. There were too many drones, too many moving targets, and he did not know what to do. But the prince knelt beside him, whispering, "Trust yourself. You know what is right. Your kindness brought us here. Let it guide you." Taking a deep breath, Evan studied the patterns of the drones. He noticed that they moved in predictable ways. Slowly, he began giving signals to the warriors, directing them to positions that would block the drone's path. The warriors moved instantly, their steps precise, their glowing staffs forming barriers that stopped the drones in midair. Evan's heart pounded. One wrong move, and the drones could reach the town. But the warriors trusted him, and he trusted them. Slowly, one by one, the drones were neutralized. Some were captured, some were destroyed. Evan could hardly believe it. He had just guided hundreds of alien warriors to defend Earth. After the last drone was gone, the commander turned to Evan with a rare smile. "You did well, human child. You have proven your courage and your ability to lead. This is only the beginning, but it shows that even one person can make a difference when they act with care and bravery." Evan looked at the prince, who nodded. "We have more to do," he said. "The enemy will return. They will test us again. But today, you saved lives. You proved that humans are not weak." The rest of the day was filled with training and planning. The prince showed Evan more advanced strategies, teaching him how to anticipate enemy movements and communicate with the warriors more efficiently. Evan learned quickly, surprising even the commander with his ability to understand the alien tactics. By evening, the sun had set, and the alien ship hovered silently in orbit above Earth. Evan stood beside the prince, looking out at the stars. "Do you think they'll come back?" he asked quietly. "Yes," the prince said, "but we will be ready. You have already shown that humans can be more than what others expect. You have courage, intelligence, and compassion. That is why you are important to our people and to your own world." Evan thought about the toy he had shared yesterday, the small act that had brought him here. It was strange to think that such a simple gesture could lead to something so powerful. But now he understood. Even the smallest act of kindness could ripple across worlds, changing the course of events in ways no one could predict. As night fell, the warriors gathered around the ship's observation deck. Evan could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on him, but he also felt a sense of pride. He was a human child, yes, but now he was a leader, a bridge between two worlds, and a symbol of hope. Little did Evan know, the enemy's true plan was far larger and more dangerous than anyone had imagined. This first attack was only a test. The next wave would come faster, stronger, and closer to home, and Evan would have to be ready. The first battle. The next morning, Evan awoke to a red glow outside the ship's observation windows. He jumped to his feet. Something was wrong. The alien prince appeared beside him, his face pale but determined. "They returned," the prince said. "This time it's not just drones. They've sent a strike force toward Earth." Evan's heart pounded. He could see hundreds of dark ships approaching the planet in the distance, their shapes sharp and menacing. The glow of their weapons reflected off the clouds, making the atmosphere feel tense and dangerous. The commander called all warriors to battle stations. Evan was placed in the central control room with the prince. "Your decisions will guide the warriors," the commander said. "One mistake could allow them to reach the cities. But I trust you, human child. Lead with your heart and mind." Evan took a deep breath. He remembered the toy he had shared with the alien child, the simple act that had started this chain of events. He felt a spark of courage. "Okay," he whispered to himself. "We can do this." The enemy ships attacked quickly, firing energy beams toward unprotected regions of Earth. The alien warriors moved with precision, forming shields in the sky to block the blasts. Evan studied the movements and issued commands. "Left flank, hold the line. Right flank, intercept incoming units. Central force, protect the cities." The warriors followed instantly, moving like flowing water. Evan was amazed. They were not just soldiers. They were a force of unity, perfectly coordinated. He realized that his decisions, even as a child, could make the difference between life and death. The battle raged for hours. Explosions lit the sky, and the hum of alien weapons filled the air. Evan stayed focused, giving commands and watching the holographic displays of the battlefield. Some enemy ships tried to sneak past the defenses, but Evan anticipated their moves and guided the warriors to intercept them. At one point, a large ship broke through the left flank. Evan's heart raced. It was heading straight for a small town near the coast. "Central force. Move now," he shouted. The warriors responded instantly, surrounding the enemy ship and neutralizing its weapons. The prince watched Evan with admiration. "You're learning fast," he said. "But the enemy is clever. They will try new tactics. You must stay alert." Evan nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. He was only 8 years old, but in this moment, he felt like the most important person in the universe. The warriors trusted him, the prince trusted him, and the fate of Earth rested in his hands. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the enemy ships began to retreat. Many were destroyed. The remaining forces fled into space, leaving the planet safe for now. The commander turned to Evan. "You have done more than anyone could expect. Human child, you guided 500 warriors and protected your world. Today, Earth owes you its gratitude." Evan felt a mix of relief and exhaustion. He had never imagined that sharing a toy could lead to this, saving his planet with the help of alien warriors. The prince stepped forward and held out his small hand. "Thank you, Evan. You have shown that humans can be brave and wise. You are more than your size. You are our bridge between worlds." Evan smiled, feeling proud but also tired. I just wanted to help," he said softly. The commander smiled as well. "Sometimes," Helping is enough to change the fate of worlds. Remember this, human child. Your heart is your greatest weapon. That night, Evan lay on the observation deck, staring at the stars. The battle had ended, but he knew it was only the beginning. The enemy would return, stronger and more dangerous. Earth's safety depended on him. The alien prince, and the 500 warriors above the planet. Evan closed his eyes, thinking about the small toy spaceship that had started all of this. A simple act of kindness had changed everything. He realized that even the smallest human could make a huge difference when they acted with courage and heart. Outside, the alien warriors patrolled silently. The galaxy was quiet for now, but the future would test Evan like never before. He was ready. He had to be. Tomorrow, the real challenge would begin. The great assault. The morning sky over Earth was calm, almost peaceful. But above the clouds, the alien ship hovered silently, 500 warriors standing ready, their glowing staffs humming with energy. Evan Parker had slept very little, thinking about the battle the day before. The enemy had retreated, but the commander and the prince warned him that this was only a temporary victory. Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. Red lights flashed. The holographic screen showed hundreds of enemy ships approaching faster than anything Evan had seen before. This was not a small strike force. This was a full-scale assault. The prince grabbed Evan's hand. They are stronger this time. We must act quickly. The commander's voice boomed through the ship's corridors. Warriors, prepare for battle. Protect the cities. Follow Evan's commands. Evan swallowed hard. His heart was pounding like a drum. He was only 8 years old, but the lives of millions, and perhaps even the survival of humanity, depended on him. He took a deep breath and stepped into the control room. Everyone, he said, trying to make his voice steady. We can do this. Stay focused. Protect the cities. Stop them before they get close. The warriors responded instantly, forming shield around major cities and moving in synchronized patterns. Evan studied the holographic map. Enemy ships were splitting into groups, attacking multiple locations at once. It was overwhelming. But Evan remembered what the prince had taught him. Stay calm, focus, and trust your heart. He gave his first command. Divide the right flank. Intercept the ships heading for the northern coast. Central force. Protect the capital city. Left flank. Keep the enemy away from the farmland areas. The warriors moved as if they were extensions of Evan's mind. Their glowing staffs formed barriers that repelled energy blasts. They lifted entire enemy ships into the air and neutralized them without harming Earth's surface. Evan watched in amazement, but then a massive enemy cruiser broke through the central shield. It fired directly toward the capital city. Evan felt panic rising. He knew that if it hit, thousands of lives could be lost. Central force. Move now. Intercept that ship, he shouted. The warriors acted instantly. They formed a living wall around the cruiser, their staffs crackling with energy. The cruiser tried to break through, but the combined force of the warriors was too strong. Sparks flew, and energy beams collided in blinding flashes. Finally, the cruiser was stopped and forced to retreat. Evan's hands were shaking, but he didn't stop. Enemy ships attacked from every direction, but Evan's mind stayed sharp. He guided the warriors like a chess master, moving pieces across the board. Slowly, the enemy numbers began to dwindle. Hours passed. The battle was exhausting. Evan's body ached, but he refused to give up. He remembered the little alien prince who had been alone and scared, and he remembered the toy that had started all of this. That small act of kindness had brought 500 warriors to Earth, and now Evan had to lead them. Finally, the last enemy ship tried to flee. Evan gave a command. Pursue and stop them. Don't let them regroup. The warriors moved swiftly. The enemy ship was surrounded and forced to surrender. The sky over Earth was finally quiet again. The assault had ended. The commander approached Evan, his glowing eyes full of respect. You have done the impossible, human child. You guided 500 warriors against a superior force and saved your world. Your courage, wisdom, and heart have changed the course of history. The prince hugged Evan tightly. You are a hero, he whispered. Because of you, Earth is safe. And because of you, humans and aliens will always be friends. Evan smiled, exhausted but proud. He had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty, but he had not given up. He realized that even a small human could do incredible things when they acted with kindness and bravery. That night, the ship hovered silently above Earth. The warriors rested, but their loyalty to Evan was clear. He was no longer just a child. He was a leader, a symbol of hope, and a bridge between two worlds. Evan looked at the stars, thinking about the toy that had started it all. A simple gesture of kindness had sparked an alliance, stopped a war, and saved millions of lives. Tomorrow, he would return to Earth, but the memory of this battle and the lessons he had learned would stay with him forever. And though the galaxy was quiet for now, Evan knew that adventure, challenges, and dangers would always be waiting. But he also knew that courage, heart, and kindness could change the course of worlds. The young human smiled to himself. He was ready for whatever came next. A hero returns. The morning sun rose over Ridgewell, painting the town in soft gold. From above, the alien ship hovered silently, its silver hull gleaming. Inside, Evan Parker stood beside the alien prince, looking down at the Earth he had worked so hard to protect. It had been days of training, battles, and fear, but now the enemy had retreated. The planet was safe, for now. Evan felt a mix of relief and pride. He was just a child, yet he had led 500 alien warriors to defend Earth. He had faced dangers he never imagined, and somehow he had succeeded. The commander approached, bowing deeply. "Human child," he said, "you have done more than anyone could imagine. Today, we return you to your world. But know this, your courage, kindness, and wisdom will always be remembered among my people. You have shown that humans are capable of greatness." The alien prince smiled at Evan. "You saved me, and you save your world. You are more than just a child. You are a hero, and your actions will inspire both our people for generations to come." Evan felt his cheeks warm. He had only shared a toy with a lonely alien child. He had never thought it would lead to this. And yet it had. That small act of kindness had sparked a chain of events that changed the course of two worlds. The ship's ramp lowered, and Evan, his mother, and a small group of townspeople stepped out. The alien warriors stood in formation, glowing staffs lowered in respect. The entire town had gathered, staring in awe at the massive ships and the disciplined, shimmering figures. Evan's mother hugged him tightly. "You did it, Evan. You saved everyone." Evan smiled. "I didn't do it alone. I had help." He looked at the alien prince, who waved warmly. The commander spoke again. "We will leave now, but we will not forget this day. Humans have proven their bravery, intelligence, and heart. You have earned our respect and friendship." Then the alien ships rose gracefully into the sky. In perfect formation, they vanished into the clouds, leaving the Earth quiet once again. But the memory of their presence and the message they carried would remain forever. Evan walked through the town, feeling different than before. People waved at him, some with tears in their eyes. Children looked up to him with awe. He had been brave, not because he wanted fame, but because he cared, and that care had changed everything. The little alien prince had returned to his people, but Evan knew that one day they might meet again. He also knew that humans and aliens could work together, that kindness could build bridges, and that even small actions could have enormous consequences. At home, Evan placed his toy spaceship on the shelf. It was scratched and slightly broken, but it was the same toy that had started it all. He touched it gently, smiling. "It's amazing what one little thing can do," he whispered. That night, Evan lay in bed, staring at the stars. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers, but was also full of possibilities. He thought about the warriors, the battles, and the lessons he had learned. Courage, kindness, and intelligence were not limited by age or size. Even a child could change the fate of worlds. He closed his eyes, feeling proud and content. He had been tested, and he had risen to the challenge. He had bridged the gap between humans and aliens, showing that one small act of friendship could ripple across galaxies. Evan Parker, an ordinary human boy, had become a hero, not because he was the strongest or the smartest, but because he had the heart to do what was right. And somewhere in the stars, the alien prince looked toward Earth and smiled. They had both learned the same truth. Even the smallest gesture of kindness could echo across the universe. The galaxy was vast, the challenges endless, but Evan knew one thing for certain. Humans were capable of extraordinary things, and someday, if needed, he would rise again to protect his world. For now, he slept peacefully, dreaming of stars, warriors, and a universe that was just a little brighter because of one human child. The end.